Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We are so pleased to be here with all of you in this afternoon session to talk about credit traps and clever deals, financial pitfalls to avoid. I am Beth Risky and joined here by Terry Clark. This is our third webinar.
It is.
We are now seasoned professionals leading the All Things Credit coffee talk series. I've got my iced coffee over there, but I have major fear of spilling in front of all of you. Excuse me. So I'm going to stick with my water here. You have your beverage of choice?
I do. I have ice water.
Lovely. Great. Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll start off with the cheers. Terry and I are so excited to present this content to you today. I think the many deals that go on in our lives, all of us are somehow touched by them. We just want to provide education on the background so that all of you can make the best decisions possible. But I think this one really is kind of our baby, right? We both have been impacted by some seemingly awesome deals that have gotten us, and we just want to share that info so that the community can make the best decision possible for them. Before we get started, though, I do want to share with you just a few things. For those of you that are new to our webinar platform, welcome. Just so you know, everything that you see in front of you on your screen is customizable. So you have a total of 6 boxes, but if you don't like having that much content in front of you, you can minimize boxes, you can expand the video player so you only see our faces, but we do have content that we're going to show on the slide. So I do recommend that you keep that visible because sometimes you'll hear us, but the visual will really help stick in the brain the information that we're trying to convey. We do have an attendee chat. So you will look at the very bottom of your screen, you'll have some icons and you can find attendee chat, excuse me, and you are welcome to post any sort of information that is not private, because that attendee chat, everyone in our webinar can see. If you do have something that you feel is a question that really only applies to you or any sort of like private information, you can email either Terry or I. Just click on the speaker bio and our email is there, or you can go to the Q&A. So we have a private Q&A. Again, find that icon. If you just hover over everything on the bottom, you can, you'll easily find it. And that just comes to us. But attendee chat is for everyone. So feel free to use that as you see fit. And the emojis, let them fly. If we say something that is really appealing or surprising, please let us know. We like to go back and look at those segments in the webinar that really spoke to you, and that might help us to create more educational content in the future. So with that, I'll give a brief introduction for myself. We're really here to hear from Terry, but my name is Beth Risky. I am the education specialist here at Community Choice Credit Union. I provide, I develop and deliver educational content regarding financial literacy. And I have here Terry Clark. And for those of you that are new, this is a new face for you. But she is certainly not new to the credit union or the financial world. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, hello. My name is Terry Clark. I am the lending performance coach here at Community Choice Credit Union. I help coach and train team members, new team members, existing team members, with everything with our lending platform. We try to make everybody as educated so that we can provide that really good member experience to all our members when they call in. So I've been in the credit union field about 20 years, about 20 years. And I'm excited for this last webinar.
20-year anniversary. That's pretty incredible. Terry knows her stuff. What we have for you in these 3 webinars is just a sliver of content. If you ever need anything, though, please go to our website. Any of the links you see in the resources will take you to, a blog post or a financial calculator. But at the very top of your screen, you can easily contact us with a phone call or go to an application, and that's going to get you over to the lending department. And really anyone that you come in contact with, they're here to help you. They want you to thrive. They're going to help you make the best decision for you. I mean, this is all true, right? I'm not
Yes, no,
this is not smoke and
definitely.
mirrors. Like, we really want you to live your best life. So please reach out if you need anything at all. Now, getting into our content, the first thing we're going to cover is the fine print on the 0% offer. So let's get those emojis ready. Who here in this webinar has gotten anything in the mail trying to entice you to sign up for a 0% or just a very low interest rate credit card? I shared in the last webinar. As soon as we started this webinar series, I got 2 in the mail, like right off the bat. It was really strange. Like somebody was listening and started mailing. Oh my goodness. But what I did is I started looking at the fine print and then having conversations with Terry as we were developing all of this. So do you want to just share with us, like, I don't know, we started off with, obviously it gets our attention with the 0% offer, but what are some of the, what's the fine print or some of the things that our audience should be looking for on the paperwork that comes in the 0% offer?
Yeah, like who doesn't like 0%? I mean, I get excited when I see that, but you just have to remember that 0%, it isn't forever. There is a term with that. So you have to just look at the small print and see, like, how long is the 0% going to be on your credit? So how long that you have to use it. So just make sure you look at that and ask those questions. Are there any balance transfer fees? Because sometimes you get on your credit card balance, transfer your balances over to us, 0%, yes. But then they say, oh yeah, there's that fee. They could charge you like 3 to 5% on the balance that you're transferring over. So even though it's 0%, you're still paying a fee.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And I don't want to cut you off with your flow, but I want to share something here. In my early 20s, I got burned with this because I did this. I took a credit card company up on their offer. I did the 0%, and I was trying to combine a few debts that I had. And I saw the balance transfer fee was 3%, but I didn't know the dollar amount. I didn't even try calculating it. I just saw 3% seems really low. So I went for it. And what happened is I actually went, by doing my balance transfers and that fee was added on, I went over the limit, and then I got another fee for going over the limit. So these are just little things to look for. Make sure you're calculating everything. Use our financial calculator if you need it to help you figure some of these things out. But these are real. I mean, this is not like
it's serious.
You can look on your any of these 0% offers. You will see this exact language. Now, 3% was 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago. It might be higher now. Okay, yeah. So next here. So you mentioned the promo ends, like sometimes they're a 12-month promo or a 15-month, but then after that,
you got to look and see, what does that interest rate go to? Does it go back to, the purchases interest rate that you use on your credit card, or is it higher? Is there a fee for not paying it off? So you just have to make sure you look at that. And then variable interest rate, will that rate remain the same, or does it change throughout the term of the loan or the credit card? So you have to, those are things that you just have to look at. You have to look at the balance transfer fees, the term, how long is the 0% there? Have a plan if you're going to be taking advantage of this 0% offer, because some offers are pretty good. But we just don't want you to get into a hardship where you're going to have that big balance and have all these extra fees, and it won't be worth doing that 0%.
So the message isn't really that, don't do it at all. It's educate yourself by looking at the fine print, or call us and we can walk through it with you. It's really creating a scenario that puts you in the best position possible financially. Annual fees could be tacked on as well. You really need to just be aware of what it is that you're paying for. And we're going to walk through a scenario here so you can see this. The scenario I'm going to show you isn't just some fictitious this is real. I took one that I got in the mail, and I just created a scenario using our financial calculator to share with you so you can kind of see what could possibly happen. So here you have this is the calculator. And if you go to resources and click on financial calculator, you'll see options of what type of calculator to use. So I was just using the one to figure out how long it'll take to pay off my credit card. So we have a balance of $5,000, and I'm going to pay $100 per month at the 0% interest. So I'm going to take up that credit card company's offer, the 0% APR, which is their interest. I'm going to take them up on the offer. And if I can only pay $100 a month, fine. But what that means is it's going to take me over 4 years to pay off.
Wow.
The problem with that is that promos end. In my case, in the paperwork that I received, it was a 12-month promo. So that's the scenario that I'm creating for you. I need to grab my readers because I've entered the time of life where if I don't have my readers, we're all going down. Okay, so in my financial calculator, I show, you'll see on the screen in just a moment, the scenario for Jill, who's 38 years old. She's opening up a credit card with a 0% interest for 12 months. Okay, she pays $100 per month towards that $5,000 balance. Now, at the end of the 12 months, Jill has paid $1,200. That's leaving a balance of $3,800. The promo ends, and at the end of the 12-month promo, that 0% jumps to 25%. Wow. Now on the the mailing that I got, it had a variable interest rate, which I'm assuming is based on credit score. It said it would either be, you know, this percentage up to 25%. Yes. So I'm choosing 25% because this is a pre-approval. What I got in the mail was a pre-approval, right? We've talked about this in other webinars. It didn't mean that I was approved for $5,000. It was just this, you know, it's a bait. They're trying to get me to bite. And once my credit is run, then I might be approved for $4,000 or $3,000. Now, at the end, when I'm assuming they do a second check and they figure out what my interest rate is going to be based on my credit score. Does that all sound right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Credit card companies watch your credit scores.
Yes. All right. So here's Jill's outcome.
Oh, no.
She was 38 years old with a $5,000 credit card balance. It's going to take 6.5 years to pay that off. She'll be 44.5 years old at payoff. She'll pay over $3,800 just in interest.
Wow.
And a total of $8,816.12. So that original balance plus all of that interest that she is accumulating for a 0% offer that she got in the mail. And to note, this didn't even include any of the fees that are commonly associated with this type of an offering. For example, the balance transfer fee that you talked about, the fact that there's varying interest rates based on what you do. So if you're just making purchases, it's one interest rate, but I know you're going to get into this later, but a cash advance is a different interest rate. Yeah. So that's not taking into account an annual fee. Yeah. So anyways, I think the message here really is just use the calculator, do the math, figure out what works best so that you're not surprised by this. And so you're not paying over $8,800 for a $5,000 balance. Right? Yes. Yes. All right. Now our next segment is going to be on a balloon payment.
Ooh.
Yeah, balloons sound fun. Sounds like a party.
It does.
This is a concept that applies to what type of loans?
Usually mortgages have balloon payments, but it could be some other loans too. But the ones I'm familiar with would be a mortgage. Usually a balloon payment, it just refers to that you're going to have a low monthly payment during the term of the loan. And then at the end, when that term ends, there's going to be a remaining balance of your loan that you borrow, or balloon payment. It's just one large payment at the end of the term.
Oh, wow.
So usually when those payments, there could be just like interest only, or mostly the payment during the term can go mostly towards interest and a little bit towards principal. But at the end of those loans, you will have a balloon payment or a lump sum. And either you could do either way. You could budget to have that money in your savings to make that payment, or you could refinance. A lot of times people use these just to get that lower payment to work with their budget, and then they just refinance whatever balance is left at the end.
Okay. So the benefit of it is somebody can get a mortgage, they get their house,
Right.
that's great, and they're at a payment that really works for their budget.
Mm-hmm.
The downfall is you owe a big chunk of money at the end.
Correct.
But if you're planning for that, that could be an okay option. It's just to be aware so that at the end of the term, you're not all of a sudden you owe, $15,000 and you don't have that lump sum to pay off. And now you have to refinance, which means potentially different interest rate.
Right.
And we're talking, 15, 30 years from now, who knows what the interest rate will be.
Right. And
Okay.
just make sure you read the terms and ask your lender questions. What will happen at the end if I don't pay it? What options do they have? Just be prepared.
Mm-hmm. They probably also would want to know if there is going to be some sort of penalty for early payoff. So like if you are of the mindset that you're getting this low monthly payment, but you see here, well, I'm primarily paying interest, I'd really like to pay more on the principal. Some lenders will have an early payoff penalty, like a fee that has to be paid, or they just won't allow it. So that's a question to ask, so that if you wanted to pay more every single month so that you're paying down that principal, you need to know if you're going to be penalized in any sort of way.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's really helpful to know that a balloon payment isn't necessarily a party.
Dang it. Yeah.
Darn. All right, now we're going to get into predatory lending.
Oh, yeah.
So this is one of those concepts where this is people are in kind of a really tough spot and they're looking for a quick loan to get them to the next payday.
Yes.
Okay. So they're often called payday loans.
Yes. The thing about this, it's a short-term loan with a high interest rate, and there's really some downfalls with this. It could get you in an endless cycle where you're just borrowing to pay that back, borrowing to pay that back. Just be careful if you're going to those predatory lending, because usually those interest rates on the payback is extremely high. So you want to watch for that. But if they might charge you extra fees if a payment's missed, there's hidden fees. So yeah, just make sure you're really watching out for those payday loans. And you'll see advertisements, no credit, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Same day financing, we'll work with you. We'll give you that money. So high cost, short-term loan, just be careful with those.
Yeah, I see that 115% interest rate or greater. And that just, oh man, it's like really hard to get out of that cycle.
It is.
And I know people are probably using it because they're just in a really tough spot and they really just need to pay for something now to get them through to the next payday, but that it is predatory. So
yeah, it is.
What would be advice if somebody here on the call was in this situation, or they have a family member who's in this situation? Who can they reach out to help them figure out some strategy to get on the right track?
They could go to their financial institution. I know credit unions, they do have some really special lending products that they could help their members. I know, for example, here at Community Choice Credit Union, our personal advisors are financial counselors. So they took classes, they got certified. So they're there to help our members, especially if they get into this situation. There's different kinds of options that they could do to make those payments if they need some money short term.
Yeah. So, and on that line of thinking, for anyone on the call, and not just, because we were talking about the predatory lending, but for anyone who wants to learn more about our free financial counseling, you can just click on make an appointment. I have the little box set up for you at the bottom of your screen, and that'll take you to a scheduling website, and it's going to be called Choice Map. That's what we call our financial counseling. And you can do that by phone, or you can do that at one of our member centers. We have over 20 member centers in Michigan. And so if you feel like you want to get on the right track, regardless of, and this isn't just because of predatory lending, it's just for anybody who wants that free financial counseling. We have that available to you. And it's great because it's free. If you're a member at the credit union, you can walk through a whole new financial future, which is fantastic. I love credit unions. There's so many perks to all the things that we have to offer. Okay, so that's a great tip, Terry. Thank you for that. We are actually going to get to a poll now. Some of my favorites. What kind of financial goal? Oh, so by the way, if anybody expanded your screen so you're just seeing our faces, you're going to want to minimize that or get that box smaller because there's a poll in front of you that you can just select your answer on the screen. So I want to hear from everyone. What kind of financial goal are you excited about right now? And you can have more than one. Finally sticking to a budget that works, paying down debt one step at a time, saving up for something big, a home, a trip, or a life event. You need to use our targets on e-banking. They're so great because you can set a target for down payment, for a trip that you're taking, some other landscaping project that you're doing, and then you can have money automatically transferred over. That's just a plug for our targets because they're really great. Boosting my credit score and confidence, learning to invest, even just a little. Honestly, just trying to keep up with day-to-day expenses.
I hear that.
Yep. And I'm still figuring it out. Wow. Terry, what do you think?
I think, paying off debts one at a time. That is a real good accomplishment. I mean, I feel so good when I pay off one debt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more freedom.
Yeah, totally. I am definitely finally sticking to a budget that works. There's a lot of things with children and all sorts of expenses that go into that. And so it's always an adjustment. Summertime creates more expenses. And so I'm for sure at letter A. All right, let's see what our audience said here. We've got 20% who agree with me, 40% who agree with you. Saving up for something big, nice. Great. Honestly, just trying to, I feel you. Still figuring it out. I'm with you on that.
Yes.
All right, we are going into deferred loan types. And this is just kind of a very high level explanation of what a deferred loan type is, which is basically like hitting the snooze on your alarm.
Yeah.
I'm most familiar with them for student loans, but you've brought up a few good points about how a deferred loan could be like at a financial hardship. Yep. I don't know is that something they work out with their lender?
They can. Yeah.
Or the other one you brought up was a loan promotion, like don't pay for, no payments for 90 days or something like that. That's a deferred loan type because you're hitting snooze on paying it off. But there are some things to know about what's going on in the background.
So if you're doing this, contacting your lender, doing for financial hardship or just delaying that payment, ask the lender if it'll have any effect or how it will show up on your credit report, how they report that to the credit report. You want to make sure that it's nothing negative on that.
Okay.
It'll bring down your score. Potentially accruing interest during the pause. So those loan promotions with no interest for 90 days, you need to ask and look at that small print to make sure, because sometimes interest accrues daily. So when you make that first payment 90 days from the purchase date, it might all go towards interest and nothing towards principal. So
the promotion might read to us like no payments for 90 days. But what we have to look for is the fine print of is interest accruing in the background so that when you get to that 90-day mark and now it's time to make your payment, what is that payment actually going to be? And are you paying principal or interest or both? So you're not caught off guard.
And it's not really a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of.
Absolutely.
Original loan and interest will be need to pay back. Yes. So I don't know, for some type of loans, maybe student loans, you need to find out when the deferred time is over, you'll have to pay all that back. Will it be a lump sum or will they give it to you in payments? So just ask for that, because these deferred loan types, they're not forgiveness. They're not erasing it. You're still going to owe it. It's just, they're just giving you time to take a breather.
Yeah, kicking the can down the road. And student loans, I think it depends on what type is being taken out. And there's been a lot of changes recently with the pause that went on for COVID, where people didn't have to make their student loan payment, and that was lifted this year. And so if you're in that position, or you have a family member in that position, I highly recommend you make an appointment for financial counseling so that one of our financial counselors can walk through all of that with you.
Yes.
Because I know that can be a really big burden when you weren't paying something, and now you are, and maybe interest was accruing in the background. But then also, like you said, just to be aware, if you're entering into a loan promotion, the no payments for 90 days, just to know all of those little things that go on in the background.
Yeah.
All right. Now, rewards credit cards are really popular.
They are.
We're talking the travel points, the cash back, we have a whole storefront of goods that you can choose from. And that's fine. It's you knowing what you're paying for to get all of that. So this is not a message of these are all bad and maybe it benefits you in your situation. We want you to be aware of some of the caveats that come with having a rewards card.
Yeah.
So first of all.
Yeah. So just remember, these rewards cards, these rewards aren't free. You're going to be paying for them somehow.
Right.
But some of them you could benefit from. So yeah, of course, the credit cards, they look at your credit scores. Rewards can expire after a certain amount of time. And some of these reward cards have annual fees. Some credit cards don't have annual fees, but some with rewards may have that. So, and then those minimum redemption amounts, you have to have a certain amount to redeem those rewards. And of course, if this is a reward card, they most likely will have a higher interest rate on those. Oh, and then if there's any late fees in there, guess what? You might lose those rewards. So just take a look at what they are before you get into those reward cards. If you're a person who uses those cards and then you pay off that balance each month, this might benefit you. So you just have to look at it and see what your budget is and see what you want with that credit card. What do you want it to do for you?
Yep. And I know a lot of people pre-COVID traveled a lot for, this is just a personal experience. Some family and friends traveled for work and they accumulated a lot of points. And so it was worth it for them. And then COVID hit and they stopped traveling and their job went remote. And if they kept that card, now they're paying that high annual fee and not being able to utilize the travel points, or they're not accumulating travel points because they're not traveling. And so it just depends on the card type and what the rewards are. Again, this is just about awareness. So looking at the fine print, knowing what you're paying for and what you're getting into before you actually get into it.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Now, our next segment here is on credit card statements. Are they trash or are they treasure? I'm going to guess Terry's going to tell us they're treasure. I know that sometimes we get them and we don't want to look at them. We just kind of want to bury our head in the sand and pretend like everything's fine. But there's some really important information that we can glean from our credit card statement that Terry wants to walk us through.
Right. And it's not just the very first page where it says how much you owe each month and where you have to make that payment to. Just take a quick look at it, because some of them, they do show what your balance is and then how much that minimum payment is. They'll give you an example of, if you make that minimum payment on this balance, it's going to take you this many years to pay it off. And then you're going to have a certain amount left, how much you're going to pay towards interest. Whereas if you made a little bit higher payment, higher than that minimum balance, it'll take you less years, and then what the interest rate is. And it shows you what difference it is. So that's listed on your credit card statement. So, take a quick look at that. Look and see what that says and compare to what the payments that you're making.
Yeah. We've talked about that financial calculator. If your credit card statement shows it to you, it's doing the calculation for you. And this is a real example that we have here, but you can see the balance is $3,800. The minimum payment is $38. Now, if you look at the box at the bottom where it shows you only pay the minimum payment, it's going to take 17 years to pay that off. So that's a long time. But the kicker really to me is you will pay an estimated total of $11,478 on a $3,800 balance.
It's crazy.
Then if you bump it up to 129, you're down to 3 years and paying $46.59, which is significantly better. So using the credit card statement as a tool, go to our financial calculator and start plugging in numbers. So if $38 captured your interest, because that minimum payment is something you can handle, we'll double that. Try doubling that number and plug it into our financial calculator so you can see all the numbers and you'll know the timeline, how old you will be when you pay it off, the total amount that you're actually paying, and all of that will help you with making the best decision possible.
I never thought of looking at how old you are when you get it paid off. That really wow, I got to rethink this. Also on those credit card statements, just take a look at the interest rate, because there's a section that there's not all charges on your credit card could be the same. So some credit cards will charge a certain amount of interest rate for store purchases or online purchases. And you could be able to do a cash advance on that credit card, where you can take cash out. That might be a little bit higher interest rate, sometimes like 2% higher than the purchase credit card interest rate, or the balance transfer. Sometimes there's a promo and it's 0%, but it'll go to a certain amount after that promo's over. So just take a look at those on your credit cards. Those are on those statements, so they have to tell you what those interest rates are. So
yes, a lot of information there. The minimum payment warning, which we just went over, the late payment warning, and then again, when we were talking about the rewards card, so if you're looking at that credit card statement and you not only could potentially lose all of your rewards because you made a late payment, you also have a late payment fee. So you're paying some dollar amount on top of that, and the credit score. I mean, back to the foundation of this webinar series, your credit score could potentially go down because you made that late payment. And so all these things are tied together as to why we need to use the resources that we have. So your credit card statement may also show you the current interest rate. Our example here we don't obviously show you the entire statement. That would be showing you some personal information, but some things to note, like if you want to know what bank is backing up the card, because you're looking at your credit report and you're seeing a bank name, but you took out like a store card. You went to the mall and you opened up at whatever store to get the discount on the clothes. It's not going to show up as that store name. It's a bank that backs up the card. But you can find that, you'll see that on your credit report, but you can also see it on your credit card statement if you just look at make your payment to, like if you're going to write out a check, you're making the payment to whatever that bank is, right? But it's just to be aware of like where all of that, how that's all tied together for those of you that did look at your credit report, because I did after we have it in e-banking. And so I was looking at it and I was like, what is that on my credit report? And it was the thing that Terry had taught me. The bank is backing up. It was a loan I had taken out elsewhere, and that's how it was showing up. But if I didn't know that, I would have honestly thought that there was a fraudulent charge. So thank you. Saved me. All right. Anything else? Oh, I guess we should make a final decision. Our credit card statements, trash or treasure?
I say treasure.
Treasure, yeah. Treasure wins. All right. We are going to share with you some of our lending options. So again, Terry works in the lending department. She's the expert here, but let's start off with some of the lending options that we have that might benefit our audience. So credit cards.
Credit cards, yes.
What's the benefit of that?
We do have a regular MasterCard, and then we do have a cashback card too. So just be aware of that. They're both really good products, but we don't charge any balance transfer fees. There's still an interest rate on those balance transfers, but we don't charge the fee to do that. And then we don't charge any annual fees for our credit cards. So That's a really good thing.
That's a great option. I linked in the resources. If you just click on, I think I called it no balance transfer fee credit cards, so you knew exactly what it was. What we had explained earlier, a lot of these credit card companies, again, in my case, it was 3%, 4%, 5%, whatever that is. That's something that you have to pay up front in order to transfer. So if you're in a position where you're trying to maybe shift things a little bit, that might be a really good option for our audience. Now, this one is the secured credit card. We talked about this in a previous webinar. If you weren't here, I highly recommend that you check out our previous 2 webinars, actually. But Terry talked us through how you can build credit through a secured credit card. So can you just give just a brief overview again for those that weren't here for that?
So a secured credit card, it works just like a regular credit card. You could use it for charges and make those monthly payments. But the difference is that you're going to put whatever credit limit your credit card is, you're going to put that amount on hold in a savings account with us. And that way, that'll be on hold, and you could use that card, and it just helps build that credit up. So
it works like a regular credit card. You're depositing the money here at the credit union, and you get a credit card to use. It works just like any other credit card would, but now you are securely building the credit. We hold that money for you, and then do they get the money back ever?
Yeah. So after a time of using it and showing positive payment history, they could just come back to us, and we could apply for the take that secured amount off and give you back your money.
Love that option, especially for people who are in a position where they really need to build up their credit. Maybe we have some, teenagers who are approaching the age of being able to take out credit, and you want to do it responsibly. This is the one. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Next is a debt consolidation loan. What would be a scenario where somebody might want to enter into that type of loan?
Usually the requests that we have are people who have multiple credit cards at the high interest rate, the 25% plus. And they want to just put it into one payment on a fixed rate, same payment each month. They could come to us for a debt consolidation loan where we'll pay off all those credit cards and give them that loan. And then they can see it on their mobile app or the online banking, the payment, the balance that they have. It's the same interest rate, a fixed rate, just gets you back down to within your budget. So you're not paying all those high interests for those credit cards.
So the benefit of that is getting everything onto one monthly payment. It's generally going to be a lower interest rate than many credit cards.
Correct.
But there's kind of a caveat where if you're doing that, there's sort of an understanding that you're not really going to be using your other credit cards. You can't, you don't want to consolidate your debt and then keep going with all the 25%. Yeah. So great option there. Again, our lending department can walk you through all of that. We have other loan types too, home equity line of credit. And actually, Terry was just saying she's been working with home equity recently to help them out. And so she's got the expertise there too, but we have the home equity line of credit, home equity loan, auto loan, personal loan, mortgage, RV, marine, motorcycle. I mean, we have it all.
We have it all.
Yes. So if somebody wanted to know what would be the best scenario for them, would it be going online, doing apply for the loan,
They could do
call
that.
us,
They could call.
Schedule an appointment with our financial counselor because they can help with that too, right?
Yep. Or visit one of our member centers. One of our personal advisors will be happy to help you.
Love that. All right. Now, speaking of, you have a few ways that you can take charge of your financial future. I'm going to give you 4 options here. And so if you are watching this on your phone or the computer and you want to grab a phone number, or you're not able to take a note on your phone right now, I'll have this up. And of course, we send this out as a replay to you so you can catch this information. But you can call us. Phone number is posted there on your screen. You can apply online at communitychoicecu.com. Again, you can call and go through that application process. You can do it online. You can go in person to any of our member centers. We have over 20 locations. If you go to our website, go to the top, it says locations, so you can see which one's closest to you. Or you can click make an appointment that I have linked below, and that'll get you over to our certified counselors, and they'll walk you through all the steps. You have many options here to get you what you need. you don't have to do this alone. We're here to help.
We are.
We're here to support you. And we want you to thrive. We want you to have the best financial future possible. This is the end of our series.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's been so fun. I didn't know Terry until we started working on this project together. I have really enjoyed working with you. You've been such a pleasure. All of our webinars are available on demand. So any content that you would like, you can see in a recording, and you can share the link with any family member or friend. This is free to the community. So share as much as you like. There's a QR code if you want to snag that with your phone, or you can click on the link that I put down below so you can catch all the recordings. We also have a survey if you haven't seen that yet, and we'd love to get your feedback so that we know that we served you well. That was our goal, was to give you the content on all things credit. I hope we delivered. Hope so. But this was a lot of fun.
It was.
And if nothing else, we're grateful for all of your time, but we hope that you walked away with at least one action item or piece of information that you can go and apply to your real life. Because that's what this is. We're all just really living.
We are. We have a lot of experience.
Yes. Please reach out if you need anything at all. We are here to help. Please share your emojis as we end our time together.
Yeah. And
please enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Yeah, and stay hydrated.
Yes. Well, I guess I shouldn't drink the rest of my coffee then, now that you said that. It's a mom thing right there.
Yes.
I'll do both. I've got a water and a coffee. Okay. Don't worry.
All right.
All right, everyone. Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.